Metro on WDET. I'm Robin Vincent. In the U.S., about a third of the food grown on farms never gets eaten. And with grocery prices what they are, wasting food is pretty tough to swallow. But for many Detroiters, the bigger concern is hunger and food insecurity. Federal cuts to SNAP benefits are coming, and they'll hit families here especially hard. That's on top of the limited access to healthy food residents already struggle with. But Detroit's farming story runs deep. Black farmers have long helped the city feed itself before and after settlers colonized the area. The historic Black Bottom neighborhood, which the city razed to make way for freeways, was named for its rich soil. That's to say, the culture and history of farming in Detroit is a legacy. And that legacy is continuing to grow. Last week, the city launched a pilot composting program for the first 200 people who could sign up on time. And I got to say, demand to participate is high. I signed up in the morning the program opened, but I didn't make the cut. I am now an eager waitlister. Joining me now to discuss the enthusiasm for this project and the future of urban farming in Detroit is the city's Director of Sustainability, Tefira Rushton, and Deputy Director of Urban Agriculture, Patrice Brown. Tefira, Patrice, welcome to the Metro.
Thank you for having me.
Tefira, I'm going to start with you. Why does the city of Detroit need a composting program?
Okay, great question. So really, I think our office is really gearing folks to really rethink how we're handling waste. You mentioned the statistic, a third of the food, something like 40% of the food in the waste in landfills is food. Food that can be reused for a different purpose. And so what we're hoping to do is keep all of that nutrient-rich product right here in the city.
Patrice, I want to get into the nitty-gritty of the program itself with you. Talk about all the different people participating, because that was something that really struck me as I was reading through and signing up and getting really excited.
Nice. Yeah, so we have community partners, and of course our main focus is resident participation. So we have our community partners, which is Scrap Soils. You have DBC FSN, which is the Detroit Black Food Sovereignty Network.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah, it is. And we're at the co-op. And then we have Duro's Edge, which is our main contractor. With Renee Wallace and her team, and then anybody I miss?
Nope.
Okay, a lot of people, a lot of different entities have to come together to make this dream a reality. Now, this pilot program is for individual residents. Are there plans for a business-focused composting program?
It's plans for everything. We want to take baby steps and really use the pilot program to help our leadership in the city understand how composting works, that it can work. And I think we have a whole lot of eager residents. Right now we have upwards of 400 plus residents signed up today, and we're very excited to share that narrative and that story, capture a lot of data so that we can get to those goals of scaling to a commercial, hopefully.
I mean, there is a massive amount of excitement and enthusiasm for this program, clearly. Were you watching the signups come in? I mean, did you see how fast it filled up? Because like I said, I'm pretty sure that I filled out the form before 9 a.m. the day that you all launched this.
Yeah, so it's been about 10 days since we launched it. And yes, I've been eyeballing it every other day. I will say not every day. I don't want to stress myself out. But yeah, we've been eyeballing the sign up form. We'll keep it open. We want to, again, share that as a part of the narrative. But we also want to lift up the fact that we want to support a decentralized composting system that kind of already exists a little bit, but we're getting our feet wet as the city into the compost space to help expand the impact and the reach of composting in the city. So I want to say to the commercial haulers that's already out there, we see you. We want to have more of you. We want to capture some of that data that they have out there already to lift up this kind of program.
Were there other cities that you were using as a blueprint to get things off the ground, to grow things here?
Yeah. Well, we researched a lot. We worked with our recycling coordinator in DPW, Rebecca. She is a really just avid advocate, I think. She was once our climate core student in our office, and she transitioned to DPW, but she helped us do a lot of that ground research. We looked at cities like Ferndale. We went out to different tours with our committee. We have a land-based projects team internally, and when I joined last year, the committee was doing tours around the region, not just the city, on what different cities were doing. So we got a chance to see a whole plethora of different cities like Flint, and in Macomb County, we went to see what is it?
Spurt.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we went out to different spaces and seen different capacity and sizes of composting and how they worked.
So it sounds like there are a lot of communities in Metro Detroit and beyond that are trying to do this, but this is what you all are trying to do in Detroit. This is on a larger scale, or it's going to be on a larger scale when we think about not only the number of residents, but the different barriers that exist. I mean, the sprawl in the different neighborhoods, and I'm just wondering what some of the barriers are to doing this in Detroit.
There are many. We do want, that's why we are looking at this decentralized system. So
what does that mean, a decentralized system?
Well, we want to support the existing composters and haulers that are doing business in the city right now. We want to support that network. We've been doing a lot of national research too. We're in a couple of national groups in our seat, and we get the chance to hear what other cities like ours look like, what they do. So we want to support that, because then we can say, let's do something in each district. So we have 7 districts in the city. It would be nice to see a composting drop-off site in each district. Right now, we had to start small because Mayor Duggan wanted to see that it worked, and we wanted to show him that in the most earnest way, that we were doing our due diligence. We did the research. We are continuing to do the data and make sure that we have those numbers and helping everybody feel comfortable with this type of program, because it's a lot of barriers. People can't get to
transportation. Is a big barrier right there.
They don't have a lot of transportation in the city, so we want to make it more niche in the neighborhoods where people can maybe walk or bike and feel comfortable. So we're looking at those things as we seek to grow the program.
Mm-hmm. And we have barriers, but we also have some highlights. We have this large, vast network of urban farms in the city, and I think that's what makes this program different. Yeah. We are going to be working and partnering with urban farms in the city who can compost right on their land. As we know, this is my thing that I tout is how much vacant land we have in the city and how we need to figure out different ways to repurpose it. Urban farming is one of those ways. Yeah. And so we have urban farms who are ready. We have residents who are ready, like yourself. We really have this perfect culmination right now, and I think that's what makes Detroit's program a little bit unique.
Tapfira, it also feels unique in that there are so many partnerships built into the model. What do partners offer that the city can't do on its own?
Yeah, well, the city is scaling up into, this is a new realm for the city, right? We, at one time we weren't recycling our plastics, right? And we had to, pilot that. We went to certain neighborhoods and we just piloted what would that look like? What would the capacity look like? So what our office wants to do is show show what it would take to do this, and show that we have the infrastructure here on the ground to be able to do this. And so our partners are bringing everything from hauling to capacity to education to our residents. And so this is definitely something that, you know, in Detroit, we have to move in partnerships. This is how Detroit really functions and works. Right. And so we're taking lessons from the folks who have come before us.
What about other city departments? I'm wondering which of your colleagues in the city will be most important to build bridges with and work with to scale this up.
Yeah, great question. Patrice mentioned Department of Public Works. So we've done several presentations with them. One cool thing is that the deputy there, he composts in his backyard. So I'm hoping to sway him a little bit. Sam, if you're listening.
Sam, it's time.
Sam, it's time.
We also have to work closely with our Buildings, Engineering, and Environmental Department, so BC. They are the ones who will be inspecting these sites, the urban farms. They are the one who give permits to these sites. And so we're meeting with them diligently and regularly to make sure that we're following all the necessary guidelines and rules, and that when there's opportunity, we can expand those rules so that we can, write policy that makes composting easier in the city.
I want to build on that and have you paint a picture for us, because you're talking with potential partners, local farms, City of Detroit departments, and you need to get all of these different folks on board and get them from saying, that's a great idea, to yes, we want to commit to this. What vision for the future of urban agriculture are you bringing to the table? Paint that broader picture for us.
Yeah. That's great, Robin. So, Patrice used this word decentralized, right? He said, what does that really mean?
Yeah.
We could go to a model of saying, let's ship all of our compost, our good nutrient-rich soil, let's ship it all out and then ship it back into these urban farms. Like, that's kind of crazy, right? We don't have to do that here in Detroit. We have the land, we have the farmers, they have the understanding of how to work the soil and how to process this food waste. And so our vision is that we have farms that are legitimate. Okay. I've been on this show before. We've talked about making sure that farmers own their property, making sure that farmers are permitted properly. That's some of our role in the city right now, making sure that the city understands the operations that are happening, right? And that neighbors are also thought of and considered in this whole mix, so that we're doing this at a scale that's appropriate in neighborhoods that there's space to do this. So there's a lot of things to consider, right? But our vision is that Detroit can keep the economy that is that compost can produce. Right now, and Patrice and I, we go around to all different farms in the city. Farmers are purchasing compost, having it hauled miles and miles away. So first of all, that's, mileage running back and forth.
Doesn't this just hurt both of your hearts to hear this?
We're like, we could be doing that on our own. We can be keeping that economy in the city.
Yes.
And so that's our vision, because, this is a product that our farmers are using. This is a product that our land needs.
Yes.
Right? We're an industrial city. We need to heal our land. This is something that'll be healing for our land, and we're keeping all of that stuff out of the landfill.
Yeah.
When it goes to the landfill, when this stuff goes to the landfill, you are getting some of the highest production of greenhouse gas, and that's methane gas that is going up in the air from our landfills. Patrice pulled out these maps she showed me. You can literally see the methane plumes over landfills in Michigan, right? And so what we're doing is trying to keep that out of the landfill and put it back in the land where it's supposed to go.
Yeah, Tep Fury, you know what this has me thinking about, though, too, is this quandary about when it comes to climate change and personal responsibility versus the responsibility of businesses, bigger industries, and government, and trying to sort of thread that needle between the two, because at the end of the day, it is more important for us to see governments and an industry taking responsibility for the health and future of our environment. And yet you don't want to remove the notion that there is some power in personal responsibility.
Robin, I think about that all the time. You think you just picked my brain. And I think what I've come to is that it's really the responsibility of government to create systems that make it easier for residents, people, and individuals to become more sustainable, right? We can, when we have recycling at your curb, we're making it easier, right?
Yeah.
Right? That is what we can do with taxpayer dollars. We can say, this is the direction we want to go, right? Same with composting. Michigan has set a goal of 50% food waste reduction over the next 10 years. That is in the My Healthy Climate Plan, right? And so we want to do our part as Detroiters. Southeast Michigan has probably over 50% of Michigan's population. If we do it, if it starts with us, if the Motor City can do it, but it's incumbent on government to make these systems easier for people.
This is the Metro on WDET. I'm Robin Vincent. My guests are Tefira Rushton. She's the Director of Sustainability for the City of Detroit, and Patrice Brown, the city's Deputy Director of Urban Agriculture. Last week, the city launched its pilot composting program. There were 200 spots available for residents to sign up, and 200 lucky people quickly did that, and some of the rest of us are eager on that wait list. Now, Patrice, I want to talk about the step 2 and what that's going to look like, because opening up composting to more residents and including restaurants and grocery stores is something we're thinking about, of course. And then you mentioned too, there are a lot of folks who don't have reliable transportation, and making sure that they're going to have access to this. And also, one more thing, sorry, I'm dropping so much on you right now, but I'm thinking about even just getting more folks to know about this, to understand composting and its benefits, and how this is a decision that has bigger implications.
I would say we want to reduce our carbon footprint. This is a way you can do it. We want to, if there is a barrier of transportation, what came to mind as a solution for me when you were talking is backyard composting. We have community partners actively doing programs in the community right now. If you didn't get a chance to get in this program, you can get into those programs. I would suggest that folks look into them. We have a community partner group that formulated a composting program, and it's the DCCCP. I know that's a lot of things going on, but we're trying to do our best to distinguish between the city's program and these community programs that we see popping up. So it's ways to think about how you can address what you and your family can do immediately and your community can do immediately. We went to a block club, all block clubs meeting. We have those. Shout out to the Dons, the Department of Neighborhoods. They invited us to the all block clubs meeting. Block clubs were lined up at our table after I got done talking about compost pilot is coming. Who wants to join? And I think our residents are eager, but if you want to find a solution for all of the things climate-wise, what we're talking about is soil health today. There is a way to get involved. There is a way to get you and your family and your community starting on a small scale. And I think our farms are really also a beacon in community. Yeah. Because you have one down the street. There is one. If you go and look, there's probably a farm somewhere in the 5-block radius of your house.
Which is wild. I mean, say that again. There's probably a farm within a 5-block radius of your house if you live in the city of Detroit.
Yeah, there's probably one. And if there's not, there's desire to be one. And so I think we have a really good opportunity in the city right now to, as residents alone and community alone, to lift up the importance of our part and the role that we play in this. I'm doing it at home. Of course, I'm using different tools.
Yeah.
We have different tools that we can use. I would encourage our residents to look at those different tools that help them compost. I'm using a machine. I don't want to give the name because I don't want to shout out a specific company, but there are ways that we can reduce our carbon footprint. We can also garden and farm in our own backyard.
That's right.
And use the food scraps that we produce out of our own trash. If we start there, I think that's a lot of what we are not seeing, and we want to educate on how to do better.
I'm thinking, too, just about how we make things easier for folks. And back when I was living in Denver, the city, you could sign up for the composting program there, and they gave you this big, beautiful, like trash-sized composting bin, and you could throw anything and everything in there. It was pretty surprising. Is there a world where that could potentially happen in Detroit? I know private companies do that, but city curbside composting program. Is that what do you all think about that?
It's a dream, but we got to get there. That's why we're piloting and showing the numbers and showing the interest. And when it comes time for that, we'll need residents who are excited to tell city officials to say, hey, we want this. Yes. We want this.
On that note, before we go, we have only about a minute left. Tepfira, I'm wondering how the exit of Mayor Duggan and the arrival of a new mayor might affect sustainability efforts in the city of Detroit in the last minute we have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. Great question. Sustainability didn't start in city government in Detroit. I don't know what happened in Denver, but in Detroit, it came from the grassroots.
From the people.
So
like always.
It'll
right?
always be here.
Yeah.
It's an honor to be that liaison. It's an honor to be doing this work in City Hall. But either which way, sustainability will be here in Detroit.
So you're saying it is always going to be about the will of the people here and how loud their voice is.
Exactly. Thank you, Robin.
Tepfira Rushton is the Director of Sustainability for the City of Detroit. Patrice Brown is the city's Deputy Director of Urban Agriculture. Last week, the city marked a milestone, launching its pilot composting program, which has an initial cap of 200 people. Tepfira, Patrice, thank you for joining us on the Metro.
Thank you
for having us.
Coming up, Detroit City Football Club recently announced plans for a new stadium in Southwest Detroit. The CEO of DCFC will join us in the studio to discuss the stadium's plans. That's next on the Metro. This is WDET-FM, Detroit Public Radio, your connection to news, music, and conversation. We'll be right back after the news from NPR and WDET. Stay with us.